So I received a letter from one of my readers at the Daily WTF, and it lays out just wonderfully one of the big problems that any business developer is going to run into eventually. A business user who does not want to be involved. In this example, he was supposed to write a order management application. Part of order management is going to be managing the taxes, in this case the value-added tax that had to be applied. And so there were two ways that he could calculate this VAT. And he goes to the financial director and asks, do I calculate it this way, or do I calculate it that way? Which of these methods for VAT is the correct method? And the financial director says, why are you asking me this? I hired you to do your job. Your job is to develop the software I need. The software I need is order management. I shouldn't have to tell you more than that. I've never explained that to anyone else, and I'm not going to explain it to you. Do your job. So the developer goes back. He does his best to do his job. He looks at the two options and says, this one. I'm going to go with this one because I think this is the right answer. It seems like the best fit. He doesn't know. He couldn't possibly know. Nobody told him, but he guessed. So he does that. He works with the other developers, and they do a bunch of other features and functionality. And at the end of the project, they go back to the financial director and say, Mr. Financial Director, here is the finished product. Is this correct? And he looks at them, and he says, excuse me? There are only two possible options here. Option number one, you're incompetent. You didn't deliver the software I wanted you to deliver. Option two, you are competent and you delivered the software I wanted you to deliver. Which one is it? Because in neither case does it involve me testing. It involves me firing you, or it involves me using the software. So which one should I be doing right now? And the developers all agreed that he should just use the software because none of them particularly wanted to get fired. This happens all the time, maybe not that dramatically, but that happens all the time in software development when you're dealing with business users. Business users don't want to make software. They might need software. They might need custom pieces of software, but they don't really want to make software. They want to make whatever it is they make. I work for a manufacturing company that makes paint. My users, they want to make paint. They don't want to be involved in making software. So how do we get them involved in the process? Because I can tell you right now, if they're not involved, the software is wrong. That financial director is not going to be happy with that piece of software. He's going to be very upset with the end product. And he's going to be upset because he wasn't involved. The developers were just guessing. So how do we get our users and developers working together? How do we keep the users involved? We need to build habits in our users. We need to get our users habituated to participating. Habits are built out of three things. Habits are built by tying a stimulus to a behavior, to a reward. I see this, I do this, and I get that. Those three pieces are how every habit's built. Good habits and bad habits. I'm stressed. I go smoke a cigarette. I feel more relaxed. That's how you get that sort of vicious cycle for a bad habit. For a good habit, it's the same thing. I get home from work. I exercise. I get fit over time. So how do we do that in software development? We need to shorten our development cycle. This is where agile methodologies become really valuable. Instead of trying to implement the whole project all in one big thing, we're going to take this little slice, this little tiny piece of the project, and we're going to implement it in a very short period of time. We're going to implement it in 2 weeks. And at the end of those 2 weeks, we're going to hand that to the user and say, it's not everything you wanted, but the amount we give you is what's here, right? If you do that, as you ask questions during that 2-week sprint, the user is going to get the stimulus. Developers have questions. They're going to get the behavior. I answer them. And then they're going to get the reward. They're going to get a piece of software that's what they actually wanted. And as soon as that reward hits them within a very short number of sprints, they're going to understand that what they do has an impact on the end project and that they're responsible for the quality of the project. That sort of habit building is vital. To do that, you need support from both the developers, from the business users, and it also needs a top-down element from management. Thank you.